Shakespeare's lifetime, one major item for trade with the New World were beaver pelts. To find out why they were so popular and what items were actually being made from beaver pelts, I sat down with Molly Leech, PhD candidate in the Department of History at the University of Pennsylvania. Her dissertation project examines the political economy of 17th century fur trade between Dutch colonists and the native nations in Northeastern North America. Here's what she had to say. What were the Europeans using beaver pelts to make in the 16th and 17th century? So you're telling us that they are bringing the wampum to trade this, but why did they want them?
Well, yeah, there are a lot of different things that beaver was used for. So it could be used in muffs or the lining for coats or gloves. But the most important item in 17th century, at least, are beaver fur hats. These are the kind of distinctively wide-brimmed hats are usually made of beaver during this time, and they become popular from about 1580 onward. In places like Paris, they start to appear in large numbers. But even before that, beaver fur hats were worn by merchants and other people. They appear a reference to them in Canterbury Tales. So that's from the medieval period. There's a merchant who wears a beaver fur hat. So they weren't new by the 17th century. And the beaver has two layers of fur. It has coarse outer guard hairs and then a soft woolly undercoat. And it's that undercoat that was seen as a superior material for felting because it was naturally barbed at the root. So with pressure, it would compress very easily, and it was also naturally waterproof. So to name a couple examples of some beaver hats that I always like to mention from the 17th century, there's one that was gifted, well, two, I guess, that were gifted to the King of the Congo and the Count of Sono when they were on a diplomatic visit to Johann Moritz in Dutch Brazil. So this was 1643. This is a unique example because there's a written documentation of the gift, which includes a beaver hat, and then a contemporaneous portrait that was made of Don Miguel de Castro, the emissary, wearing the hat, and as well as some of the other gifts, like a silver sword. And there's another example of these kind of proliferations of different types of beaver hats. So some were full beaver hats called some were full beaver hats, and then we also have demi-castor hats, so ones that were kind of mixed with other materials. And William Bradford owned one of those in the Plymouth colony, according to his probate inventory. And then there are also some 17th century beaver hats at the V&A Museum that I always like to recommend listeners. They can check out these examples and then see a certain what the beaver hats looked like during that time.
To hear more about the history of beavers in Shakespeare's lifetime, including what items were being traded with North American tribes for beaver pelts, what wampum is, and the volume of beaver being traded during this time period, listen to our entire conversation with Molly Leech right now on the podcast at CassidyCash.com/episode 336. That's CassidyCash.com/EP336. While you're there, if you'd like to see insider history related to the history of beavers, be sure to support our show as a patron, and all of the bonus content will expand right there on the page. That's it for this week. Thank you for watching. I'm Cassidy Cash, and I hope you learned something new about the Bard. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.